My name is Nicole Poliesi, and I serve as the Marketing Committee Chair for Young Professionals Network. I actually grew up in the Twin Cities area, and then I went up to Grand Forks, went to the University of North Dakota for school, and I moved here in 2020. So I'm pretty new to the area, but always driving through. My sister went to NDSU, and so coming to visit her and just always being in the area, there was maybe something in the air, but it just kind of felt like Fargo's home. So when I made the move here, I've never looked back. When I started my first job here in Fargo, they really encouraged me to get involved and mention Young Professionals Network with the chamber. And so I think there must have been like an off the clock or something like that. And so I just went, and they welcomed me with open arms. And I think the next week they had a morning buzz, like a coffee thing, which spoke to my heart right away. And so I immediately made my way to morning buzz, and I felt connected to it ever since. It's really helped me continue to feel more and more rooted into the Fargo, West Fargo, Moorhead community, just feeling like, yeah, this is where I belong. But personally, I mean, I've made a plethora of professional relationships that have turned into personal relationships of, hey, let's go grab a beer, or hey, I have this really great volunteer opportunity. Would you be interested in helping out? Or even just like hang out, become friends. It was just immediately people were like, yep, we want you here. You belong here. I never felt like outsider-ish or pushed away or, oh, well, you're not from here. That was never a thing. It was once you're here, you're from here. This is your home. So I think that's where my passion sort of bubbles up from, is I want to give that to other people. I want other people to feel that way about this community. Having a community, whether it's the larger community or the community that you identify with, whether that is the Women Connect, or that's Young Professionals, or that's PLC, whatever that is, it's important that people feel like they have something that belongs to them, something that they feel bought into. And if you don't feel that connection, you don't feel like your roots are really driving into the ground, then you're not going to put that back into the community to help it grow. And so having these different outlets for people to be able to identify with, to connect with, to feel passionate about, I mean, that's what drives growth. That's what keeps people here and what keeps them bought in, and to continue to give and give, so that the people that come in and we can say, hey, come join us. We've got something really great going on here. You have to have that mentality of like, we are one community, and if one person is thriving, let's help another person thrive, because that is how we are going to maintain success and maintain growth in our community. This idea that, all rising tides lift all boats, it just raises our community to another level, and being able to connect with other businesses and saying, hey, if you're doing great, that money comes back to our community, builds us up, which helps us do great. And I mean, it's just this whole, that ripple effect circle.
Name is Doug Restemeyer. They call me the Bud Man, so I run DS Beverages, which is a local Anheuser-Busch wholesaler that services this kind of 100-mile radius of Fargo Moorhead. I married my wife Connie, and her dad just happened to be a Budweiser distributor. The opportunity came up to buy into the business, and took the jump 21 years ago. The thing that gets me up in the morning is the responsibility of having people that are dependent on our business for their livelihood and their families, and that's the part that probably gets me most jazzed up in the day. Probably the biggest challenge we've overcome, I think, as a community that sets us up for the long term is the whole FM diversion. That was so key to paving the way to our future and to future businesses looking at Fargo Moorhead as a prime spot to come to. So without that, there'd be this kind of cloud hanging over our head, and I just feel so good that we've got that runway is clear now. Even in today's world that we're dealing with, all sorts of, there's plenty of other issues out there that we need the business community to be involved in. Otherwise, you can lose the balance of going down paths that aren't favorable to business, and then your growth tends to flatten out or even start to decline. And I think it's important for our company to be involved in these policy discussions. I want to be involved in the community. I think it's my civic obligation to share my voice and share my opinion and be involved in trying to take us to the next level. I don't think without the strength of the business community and the chamber and our presence with the legislature that we would have put the pieces together to get the funding done for that. That was a monumental task, and everything had to work perfectly, and we had to be able to show that we could make this work. And having the business community behind it is what I think really got that thing over the finish line. What I'm so excited about is my son, Bill, just joined me in the business about, gosh, almost 2 years ago now. It'd be exciting, fun to see both my boys in the business and eventually taking it to that next generation.
My name is Ruchi Joshi Bhardwaj, and I work as the Grants and Education Coordinator with Grant Farm. I came here in 2009 from New Delhi, India. I came here for school. I got my undergrad, master's, and PhD all from NDSU. I love this community, and this community has been the biggest reason that has allowed me to stay here for the past 13 years. Something that would really make me happy would be a time where people are excited to stay in Fargo-Moorhead and they're happy to have a career here, have their families here, just like how I feel. At Grant Farm, one of the things that we really take pride in is facilitating different events and conferences that brings different people together in a room, which is a collision of such high energy and talented people together that allows us to amplify their talent. In my current role, I get to connect different people with the growers, with the higher ed folks, which includes researchers, faculty members, and graduate students, and also with the startups and corporations. I am super grateful to EDA for granting the Good Jobs Challenge grant. Grant Farm and Emerging Prairie both are super excited to work with the Chamber on this grant. It is a huge opportunity, not just for us, but the whole community, because we can do so much. Something that I'm personally excited about regarding this grant is that it focuses on the minorities, the underrepresented people in our community. And I feel being an international, getting those different perspectives, I'm really passionate about helping and more about serving those members in our community, because I think it's important for us to get at the ground level, pick up everybody, and move together in order to be really successful.
My name is James Bergman. I'm a singer, songwriter, and speech-language pathologist based out of the Fargo-Moorhead area. So I work with local school divisions, helping transition kids from early intervention, getting services in the home, to getting services in the school. Actually, I'm originally from Canada, about 45 minutes southeast of Winnipeg. Studied psychology for my undergrad degree, but then went to MSUM to study speech-language pathology and kind of fell in love with this community. Having been here for 17 years, it feels like I can see the difference between when I got here and now. When it comes to who we are as a community, I think I've seen that develop in those 17 years. And I think we are more ready to invite other people in and other perspectives in, and we need that. I think it's important to acclimate people, but I think that acclimation process should be an affirmation process as well, where we tell people, we just need you to be your authentic self because there's something that you can bring to this community that nobody else can. Having intention behind that and really making an effort to help people feel welcome, regardless of their background, is a big part of what's going to take this community into the future. I think the Ignite initiative is a big deal for students because it's an easy place to see opportunities in our community. Sometimes it's tough for our students to visualize what it looks like to be a part of this community. There are ways that we can all take a step back and look at our community with that mile-high view and get that idea of if we just work with our students more efficiently and more effectively, we can help solve some of the problems that we're seeing right now and continue with some of the amazing efforts that we're already doing. I've got this one song that I wrote for my son before he was born, and the chorus is, "Whoever it is that you are meant to be, you will always be our own, but time will make it clear that you're not ours alone. It'll take a whole village to make sure you're growing up so we can see whoever it is that you were meant to be." And I think we need to see who people are meant to be